Hello everybody, SpiritGaming here. In this video, I will be talking about the top 15 tips and tricks I wish I knew when I started playing. I tried to implement some not really obvious tips and tricks, since I know a lot of people have done similar videos already, so there is a good chance you did not know some of these tricks. But before we start, I do want to mention that I have timestamps for each tip and trick on the loading bar and in the description below, so if you already knew some of the tips and tricks, I won't make you suffer by going through the whole video. With that being said, please subscribe, leave a like, and join my Discord for more Genshin Impact videos and streams. I do stream every Monday, Wednesday and Sunday at 8 PM GMT plus 2, and I do occasionally do some surprise streams like I did yesterday. Let's start with the tips and tricks. Tip number 1 is the Genshin map. I will post the link down in the description below and maybe in the pinned comments as well. But what this map does is you basically just go to this page and you can find Anemoculus wherever they are. You can play Geoculus as well wherever they are. You can literally find anything you need. For example, to ascend my Zhonling, I needed Zhu and Chili, and this map showed me where they are. I went to this place, gathered some, and was able to actually ascend my Zhonling. So basically all of the materials you see here, there are actual maps you can see, and you can just waypoint on your map in the game, for example like this. I know that there are some of these chilies here, so I did mark them right here. So keep that in mind. It is a very good website. Tip number 2. You can make your tether become a geo element user just by going to the statue in Lilie, which is located over here. You do need to find 2 Geoculuses though, so keep that in mind because you do have to get the blessing of the statue first, and then once you go in with the main character, you just go to resonate with Geo, this animation will happen, and suddenly you will actually have completely different abilities and a completely different element. As you can see here, I can throw down boulders and everything is very fine. Tip number 3. You do not need 5-star characters to progress through the game. You mainly want to make your team great and not just play with one character. For example, my main character is Zhonling, which is a 4-star character, and I'm building my team around Zhonling. Of course, I do wish to get some more characters, especially official, but it is what it is. I cannot get her easily, so I'm just playing with what I have. And also keep in mind, I will make a video about how to build your team as well. Tip number 4. If you do want a specific character, then you can reroll. This is true for every gacha game, however many people have not played gacha games, so I will explain this now. Rerolling means you're creating new accounts and reaching to AR5, then using all the Primo Gem and all of your pulls to try and get the character you want. If by any chance you do not get it, you just make a new account and do the same thing all over again until you get something you need. However, I would personally not use this tip because I would get bored of the game before I even start playing, but it is up to you. If you really want that Venti or if you really want that official, then go ahead and reroll your characters. I personally, my favorite character is Zhonling, so I had no reason to reroll. Tip number 5. Using 2 of the same elements in your squad actually has some great benefits. You can view all of these benefits when you go to Party Setup, and then you go to Element or Resonance. There are 3 elements I do want to recommend. That is the Pyro one, Impetuous Wind, and High Voltage. So, Pyro is what I use currently for fighting, and it increases my attack by 25%, which is crazy. Next, whenever I travel, I use Impetuous Winds. Basically means that it decreases stamina consumption by 50%, increasing my movement speed by 10%, and shortens my skills cooldowns by 5%. This is very good for traveling, keep that in mind. In PvE, when you're fighting mobs, this is not the best, however, when traveling, it is really good. And then we have High Voltage. I recommend you use High Voltage for a team that uses a lot of elemental energy. What this thing does is basically you have a chance to get these electro elemental particles, which you do not have to be an electro character to get. What these particles do is they replenish your energy, for example your ultimate energy right over here. If I had 2 of those, I would use, even if I'm a pyro, I will still get that electro energy and fill up my ultimate abilities, so keep that in mind. If your team is really based on their ultimate abilities, you do want to use High Voltage. Tip number 6. Refine good 3-star weapons. If you thought getting duplicate weapons is bad, then you're wrong. It is actually one of the best things that can happen. The reason is that you can refine your equipment by using the same weapon and increase its passive. You can refine it up to rank 5, which gives some insane boosts. So for example, this is how you do it. You pick whatever you want, whatever weapon you want, you go to details, and you go to refine. Now you do see identical weapon materials. The weapon has to be identical, but next rank you see here is 36% here and 42% here. If I do add a thing, let's see, if I do add a bow, now I have 42% and next up is 48%. And I can do this until I get to rank 5. Let's do it on the video. I hope I'm not taking too much of your time. I'm sorry if I am, but let's get to rank 5 because I do have 5 of these bows, which is pretty perfect just for the video. Yay, and as you can see, Slingshot is now maxed, my 3-star weapon is maxed, and this makes it pretty good anyways. However, I will not really use this because my team is not really concentrated in my Amber dealing damage, and I do not have many other bow characters. So yes, you do want duplicate weapons. It is not the end of the world, it is actually very good. Getting duplicate characters is really amazing as well. You can use the items you get from the duplicate characters to upgrade that same character in the Constellation tab. Now, I personally do not have, I think, any materials for Constellation, but as you can see, I did get a Jean Link copy, and I got this ability right here. So now whenever my Guba, aka my Q, aka my E ability hits, I will do 15% more pyro damage to anyone affected by this pyro. Okay, so that is very cool, very amazing, and you can do that with every single character in the game whenever you get a duplicate. And keep in mind, you cannot use any of those materials, for example this one right here, for any other character. So if you get them, make sure you use them because they will be a waste if you don't, and you cannot use them for anything else. Keep that in mind, it is a very good tip. Tip number 8. Gather everything you see on your screen because you eventually need it. Yes, pick up everything you see on the ground, whether it would be chests, food, lizards, butterflies, ores, and etc. The reason is that you will eventually use all of these things, and you do not want to be short on resources for a whole day since the resources replenish only one daily. Now, yes, of course, you can go in the co-op road with a friend and get their resources as well, but what if you don't have any friends playing this game, or you do not want to play with anyone and just want to solo it up, then you're pretty screwed. Tip number 9. Cooking. Cooking is amazing in this game. You can revive, heal, and even boost your whole party. Also, cooking is pretty easy since after you make a couple of perfect dishes, you will be able to auto-make that same dish for any future needs. And there we go. Now I'm max proficiency in the food I just made. That is pretty amazing, guys. Do that, cook, and you will be good to go. Tip number 10. Do not use your fragile resins until you hit adventure rank level 45. Fragile resins are the rare things you get from finishing missions, and you do want to save them. However, don't confuse fragile resins with the ones on the map, which are called original resins, since yes, these original resins replenish daily. You get one original resin per 8 minutes. So keep that in mind, always use a bunch of resins before you get 120. Currently I'm basically wasting time and resources, but I have to make this video quick, and after that I'm gonna use these resins. You can use these resins if you zoom in a bit, yes, you can use them in these types of things. And also keep in mind, later down the line you will be able to use resins for things like this and get 5-star items, especially from here. I think I saw you get really amazing items, guys. So keep that in mind, you get 5-star artifacts at level 45 and level 50 as well. So you do want to save your fragile resins for that time, mainly because you will be able to just progress through the game way quicker that way. Tip number 11. Devs encourage playing in co-op mode. The main reason for you to play in co-op mode is that you can farm all of the materials on your map and then go to a friend's map where all of those materials will not be taken. So basically, if you have an infinite amount of friends, you can get an infinite amount of resources eventually. But keep in mind, in co-op mode, you can't do quests together or open chests. The only person who can open the chest is the host of the team, and only that host will get the items that are in the chest. Tip number 12. Mark everything on your map. This is something I really regret not doing, mainly because, yes, now I do not know where the bosses are, where anything is, so please mark everything on the map. As you see here, I showed you earlier, I marked my chilies here, just so when I need them, I know where to get them. Of course, if you did not and you were like me, you can just go to, again, Genshin Impact Map and see where all of these things are. However, you will need to find them, search for them, and so on and so forth, so just make sure you mark everything on the map, especially ores and especially materials you will need eventually. Tip number 13. Unless you're a whale, do not buy the Supply Star bundle and the Wi-Fi supply bundle. These are basically not that useful. You will get all of these items eventually. You can farm for them easily, so you can use your crystals mainly for getting these things, right? Mainly for these things. You do not want to use your crystals for these starter packs. It is not worth it at all. Unless you're a whale, as I said, you can buy everything you need to progress faster. Tip number 14. Use 1 pulse instead of 10 pulse. It is better. I would make a video about why it is better, but there are already content creators that have made videos about this. So in short, I will leave you a video of the channel I saw this from that actually gave facts and show all of the math to make you actually believe it, because it is actually true. So if you do have the time and you're not lazy like me, do times 1 wishes instead of times 10 wishes. It will help you a lot and save you some primo gems. The first bonus tip from me is do not follow the meta. This is a PvE game, there is no competition, so just enjoy the game with the characters you want to enjoy. Every single character can be good if you make the right team for it, and also do not rush and only do missions. This is an open world game, it is made so you can enjoy the beautiful environment. The second bonus tip is that you're actually faster if you spam the sprint button instead of just holding the sprint button. Keep that in mind, you're faster by just spamming it, it takes less stamina and it is faster. Keep that in mind. And for the last and final tip, if you're free to play, do not upgrade characters you do not need. Upgrade 1 or 2 at the start and they will carry you through the game. I personally used all of my materials on Ling since it is my favorite character and I will get a lot of copies from it, a lot of duplicates, so I can max her out pretty soon. Also, I personally maxed out my main character since eventually I do know that he will be able to switch to every single element, making him be viable in any composition you wanna play. Keep that in mind, do only upgrade 1 or 2 characters at the start. In the end game, you will of course upgrade these to max and then you will start upgrading the other characters, so keep that in mind. Do not waste all of your materials like I did on some of these characters right here. So yeah, keep that in mind. That is it everybody, thank you for watching, make sure to subscribe for more Genshin Impact videos and streams. I do want to remind you that I stream every Monday, Wednesday and Sunday at 8 PM GMT+2, and as always, thank you for watching and bye bye until next time.